Hello and welcome to the Branded Show Live. I am very excited to see 54 eager beavers waiting to get into this week's show. Mike Lewis, straight in there, always straight in. They're the first person to introduce themselves. Welcome back if this is your second, third, fifth, sixth, seventh time coming to these lives. I think we've done how many weeks now? We're in November. We started doing these in January, did them every single week. I think I've only missed 2 weeks of lives. One of them was because my daughter was sick, and the other one was because I was on holiday. I think we can be forgiven. But other than that, we have gone live every single week, coming to you to bring you all of the advice that you need to grow, build, and monetize your personal brands. And if this is your first time, welcome. We are so excited to have you. As you can probably see from some of the comments that are being left in the comments straight away, good little place to start with the show is to introduce yourself. So if we haven't met you before, say hello. We want to know what it is that you do. We want to know who you are. We want to know your story, and we want your social links so we can come and support you. We can come and give you all the love, give you all of the community spirit that these lives and our beautiful community are known for, so that you can grow not just your network, but also potentially meet some friends, meet some clients, meet some amazing opportunities in the comment section. So introduce yourself, say, hi, my name is this. I help these people do this thing. Here are my links. And that is a very good playbook, by the way. If you're someone who doesn't really know how to explain what they do, that is the template. Hi, my name is this. I help these people do this thing, aka outcome. And here's how I do it. Here are my social links. So welcome. I can see Sarah's here, Abigail, Eunice back again. You come every single week, Eunice. I'm so impressed. Joe, Nigel also comes back. Penelope Silva. Penelope Silva was here last week on the show. Now, I have some very, very exciting news, guys. So as per your feedback, we've evolved the Personal Branding and LinkedIn Hacks live show. We are no longer just focusing on personal branding and LinkedIn Hacks Live. We are actually going to be focusing on branding, marketing, and sales in general, because let's be honest, when we dig into the roast my post audits or all of the questions that you guys ask, they tend to be centered around marketing strategy, branding strategy, sales strategy. How can I get more leads? How can I optimize my qualification process? And that transcends so much more than just personal branding. Personal branding is just the tip of what we're trying to do here. And as much as I am known for personal branding, and I'm very lucky and fortunate to have built an amazing business off the back of mine, it wouldn't have been possible for me to do that if I didn't acutely understand marketing funnels and sales strategies and how to convert attention, right? So we have repositioned the Personal Branding and LinkedIn Hacks show to, drumroll please, the Branded Show. So we're going to be focusing on everything to do with your brand, whether it's your personal brand or your company brand. We are going to be covering sales, marketing, branding, socials, but also what happens in the back end. We are going to be looking at brands that do well and brands that don't do well, so that you can learn in real time, not just from your peers, but from the biggest brands in the world through to startups, scale-ups, and beyond. And we're also going to be giving you real-time feedback on the trends and fads that are popping up in the business world and in the branding world that you should and should not be falling for. So I'm very, very excited. We're much more formatted, we're much more structured, and hopefully going to bring you so much more value, which you guys have been begging for the last few weeks. And we listened, we took your feedback, we've taken your questions, and we've applied it to the show. And most importantly, we are going to be uploading this show to YouTube after it's gone live. So you can only join live if you are here right now. You can only have access to this community if you are live right now. But having it on YouTube means that you can go back and you can re-watch the replay. You can go, oh, I remember when we spoke about that thing 35 minutes in. Let me just scroll to that bit. Does anyone else do that on social media? Like when someone takes too long to get to the story, but the story is really interesting, so you just scroll. You can now scroll on YouTube and get to the bit that you found most valuable, so that you can remind yourself of the thing and hopefully execute it straight away. And we are also still going to be bringing you an amazing guest. This week we've got Joshua Gerstler, who is a financial planner. And far beyond just looking at how content creation is being done for Joshua, we're going to be looking at his strategy, his sales strategy. How can he generate leads? And so hopefully if you are someone that's running a business, raise your hand if that's you. Hi, me too. It's going to give you some real-time play on how you can execute a proper sales strategy that actually doesn't just generate you leads, volume, it will generate you the right kind of leads, because there is nothing worse than posting content, getting leads, building website, getting leads, and those leads can't afford you, or they're not quite right, or they're not ready to buy yet. Like, no one wants to waste their time speaking to those people. So really, really excited to be discussing this with Joshua and taking you guys through the real-time actions that you can take as well. And as ever, if you have any questions, do pop them in Q&A, but we do a live Q&A, not on this session, but in our closed Discord community. It is free to join if you've purchased our course, the How to Build Your Personal Brand on LinkedIn course. If you've purchased that and you haven't joined the Discord community yet, you are missing out. We had the most amazing Q&A last week. We had some incredible questions. So download Discord, click the link that was sent to you in your email address. And if you haven't joined the Discord community or bought the course yet, get involved, guys, because for 79 quid to be involved in this incredible Discord community that is free as part of the course is worth it, regardless of whether you watch any of the course material anyway. So first up, we have topic of the week. So one of the things that I talk a huge amount about, right, is personal branding. I think it's probably one of the reasons why you're here. But the advice that gets given on personal branding is rarely directed towards sales. Hands up anyone who has seen advice from other personal branding people talking about vanity metrics of like, I've had this many impressions, and if you want to go viral, and here's how many followers I have, and blah, 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 blah. It's always based on virality. It's always based on vanity metrics. And don't get me wrong, that's important, right? Thanks, guys. Thanks for the love. That's important. You need to see there's growth across those impressions in order for you to feel probably intangibly that things are going well and give you that kind of instant gratification that all the effort you're putting into posting content, if you're a founder or if you're an ambitious person trying to build their personal brand for their business, you want to see that instant gratification and feel like, okay, the effort I'm putting in to this exercise is paying dividends. And the quickest way for you to see whether or not it's paying dividends is whether or not you're getting interaction, right? Hands up who has spent hours and hours on content and got absolutely no interaction. Me. Still happens, by the way. Like, we will create content, we'll post it and get like no likes on Instagram. I'm like, really? I thought that was going to do so well. So you're not alone. You're not the only person that is feeling that way. And hopefully from the reactions you're seeing on the screen right now, you can see that other people are in that same situation. But what I wanted to talk to you about today is one of the things that I think stops us from continuing to build our personal brands and monetize them, which is the reason why we're all here, right? Like, I have very little interest in generating views or impressions or likes if it's not going to translate into cash. And the reason why I brought up what other creators and what other kind of personal branding people are talking about as it pertains to KPIs surrounding vanity metrics is because a lot of these people have never actually built businesses off the back of their personal brand. They have monetized their personal brand on social media by selling courses on how to build your personal brand. And I feel like that's probably slightly hypocritical considering I literally just launched a course on how to build your personal brand 2 weeks ago. But the reason why I launched that course is because there is such a hole, there is such a void of people talking about how to monetize their personal brand, right? It's not just about impressions. It's not just about, how many likes can I get? How many followers can I get? It's like, do I get any leads from that post? Did I get any clicks through from that post? And that is the true essence of monetizing your personal brand. There is absolutely no point in you creating content just to get followers, because followers aren't paying your bills, are they? You might have 1 million followers right now, but if you're not making any money from the effort that you're putting in to create that content to get those followers, what the fuck are you doing? If you're a business owner, your personal branding strategy, just like your company branding strategy, has to lead back to your business strategy, which should be, in a capitalist society, to make money. Right? I'm trying to make money. Hopefully you're trying to make money. We're all trying to make money, honey. And if your brand strategy is not leading back to the cash, then it's a fucking shit strategy. So when you are talking online about your business, make sure that you are sending people to your business. And you can't do that with every single post you do, because no one likes feeling like they're being sold to. We all hate that, right? When you're walking down the street, and even the charitable organizations that are connecting, trying to connect with you to get cash, you automatically don't want to talk to them because it feels like an invasion of your space when people ask for things from you, right? No one likes being sold to, but everyone likes to buy. And if you are accumulating a following, engagement, likes, all of these things off the back of content that you're creating, you would be a total fool not to remind these people that you have a business that provides a very specific service to their needs. Okay. So my homework for all of you this week is to spend at least 15 minutes immediately after session. Even better, come to our Discord channel and we can workshop it together. But spend 15 minutes immediately after this session writing down all of the things that you're proud of, like the work that you've done for clients. Are there tangible results that you can share? Is there a project that you recently worked on? Even if you're employed and you're not looking to generate leads, the lead generation here is your future employment. It's future opportunities for you. So what projects have you worked on? What stages have you been on, if there have been any? Have you had any amazing results for clients? Did you just onboard a client? Is there an announcement post that you can do? These all are what I would call social proof. And social proof doesn't tell people how great you are. It shows them. And these don't have to be complicated posts, by the way. It could be, oh my gosh, I just started working with this brand and I've wanted to work on this project for so long, super excited. Full stop. If you're a brand in this space and you want help in this thing, would love to chat. Here's my email address. Sending out posts like that will not get loads of engagement, but my gosh, will they get leads? And if you are running a business right now and you are not reminding people what it is that you sell at least once or twice a week, you are leaving money on the table. You are letting people who could potentially be your customers in your following just sit there and go and get business with other people, right? You need to give people a reason to buy from you. Knowledge, sharing all of your information. You need people to want to pick you as the expert, and that's where your stories come in, your personality, you as a human being. But in order for them to actually make that logical buying decision, they have to know that you can do the job. They have to know that you are the right person with evidence, right? It's the reason why TripAdvisor exists. It's the reason why all of these peer review sites exist, Amazon reviews, etc. Hands up who looks at every single light bulb review on Amazon before they spend $2.99 before buying that light bulb. It's freaking ridiculous. Like, it just needs to go on and off. That's it. But we will still look at all the reviews. Is it what it says it is? And that's because we trust people more than we trust the brand, right? I can see, and Keita says, I do. Me too. I do the same thing on TripAdvisor. I do the same thing on everything, like Trustpilot. Before I book a holiday, I'm like, are these really negative reviews, or are these people just like really not nice people? Like, I want to know whether that hotel is legit, whether the pictures match what it says on the website. I want to see the real photos. I never even look at the photos that the hotel uploads. I only look at the photos of other travelers, and I toggle it to most recent because I'm like, that might have looked great 20 years ago, but I want to know what it looks like now. Like, show me the real pictures now, guys. What does the food look like? What does the decking look like? Is there a chip on that chair? Because if there's a chip on that chair, then it means that they don't take care of the property, right? So we care about these things. 92% of us trust the opinion of a stranger that we've never met before over a company brand online. And by you sharing the stuff that you're doing in real time, you can capture people immediately and make them think, wow, this person really knows what they're talking about. And you don't even have to sell. That's the best part. You don't even have to sell. All you need to do is just show that you are amazing at what you are good at. I'm just going to call out one thing, guys. I can see there's one or two of you who keep pasting in your introduction. Hazable, I love you, darling. You're part of the Discord community. But when you paste your introduction in multiple times into the chat, it just clogs it up and means that people can't have a conversation, and that's really shit. So please don't do that. We love you very much. We want to connect with you. We want to see what you're doing and support you, but you got to just keep the introductions to a minimum, because we all want to grow and connect, but we're also here to connect, and the only way you can do that is have a conversation, which is very hard to do if all we're seeing is the same introduction over and over again. So that's my topic of the week. Don't just post content, don't just share your stories. We know that gets engagement, we know that gets likes, we know that gets people into your network, but it doesn't actually sell what you do. So your homework for this week is to write down 4 things that you're proud of. Was it a project? Did you get a specific outcome for a specific client? Did you get a specific result? Is there data that you can screenshot? Data is a great one. Another great thing as well is, could you DM a client and say, hey, did you enjoy working with me? And then screenshot their reply and use that as part of your content, right? This is all you need to do. And then all you need to do is have a little line at the end of that post, whether it's on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, that says, if you're a client, customer also trying to achieve this, here's my email, would love to discuss. That's it. Don't measure the success of your personal brand if you're building a business on whether or not you get likes, measure it on whether or not you get leads. And that is why you'll see me post very similar types of posts often that may not even get a huge amount of likes for the amount of following that I have, but by golly, do they get downloads, by golly, do they get leads. So get those testimonials out, get those reviews out, get the social proof out in your words, your story, how you did it, how you helped that client, how you helped that customer, with a call to action on how to work with you. And I promise you're going to see an increase in the leads that you are getting. Was that helpful? Would love to know. We have a next little segment that I would love to. Good. I'm glad. It's good to know whether or not it's helpful, guys, because without your feedback, we don't know what to cover. We do a lot of things, I think, relatively well in the Amelia Sordell arena and in the clout arena, but we only give a little bit away so far because we think that's what people want from us. We think they only want personal branding content. And actually, there is a whole ecosystem of knowledge that we have built over the last 5 to 6 years building this business and learning how to do things as we go. And we want to give that back to you because, let's be honest, big businesses gatekeep strategies and playbooks from small business owners and from ambitious people because they don't want us to play in their arena. And I want to give that back to you, right? So next up, we have trash or like these trends. Basically, we've got a bunch of stuff. So is it trend or is it trash? You guys might have seen lots and lots of things floating around, like the way that you should be writing your hooks, or maybe it's as a sort of an opportunity to work with an influencer or whatever it might be. And you think, oh, maybe I should be doing that because that is what everyone else is doing. And so the segment today, which is trend or trash, is all about really, and I've even got cards, guys, how professional am I, is really about unfucking some of the stuff that business owners get told to do, and also people building brands get told to do, that may not necessarily be good for your brand. So if there's anything that you want to add to the trend or trash bucket list, add it into the comments right now, and I will tell you immediately if it's trend or trash. But I'm going to kick us off with influencers. Trend or trash? What do you guys think? Give us a love heart if you think they're a trend, and give us a thumbs down. Is there an option for that if you think it's trash? Do you think working with influencers is trend or trash? Well, I have a very nuanced opinion on influencers, and I, in many ways, think that I might be considered an influencer, so I'm going to be very careful about what I say. But I think macro influencers, people with millions of followers, are trash. And hear me out, okay, before anyone comes for me. When you have millions of followers, and I know this is someone who has been working with brands in brand and partnership capacity, but also been on the other side of the fence, working in-house and speaking to influencers and speaking to creators. When you work with creators with really big followings, typically what happens is people are following that person because that person has lots of followers, right? So, there's plenty of examples I can think of people on LinkedIn who have loads of followers, but no one actually gives a shit about them as a person. And they have loads of followers because they create content that goes viral, right? So they viral hacked their way into a huge following. However, when a brand works with that type of influencer and they pay them an extortionate amount of money, I might add. I know someone who got paid £100,000 by Dell to post a handful of times, and they made very, very little money from it, right? And that is because this person had over 1 million followers, but they didn't have any kind of personal buy-in with the people who were following them. And that's because they hacked the algorithm rather than actually building a personal brand. And so influencers, macro influencers, trend or trash? Trash. Because if you are a company and you are sending out products, you're sending out free stuff to these influencers, and you are expecting them to get huge results from you, you're going to be deeply, deeply disappointed. What I would say on the flip side of that, which is a huge trend, is working with nano influencers. So if you are someone who is, sub 5,000 followers right now, and you have a very, very small group of people who are in one very, very small niche, you have a massive opportunity, not just to monetize your own personal brand, monetize your own following, but also to go and reach out to brands to gift you products, etc., because you are going to have so much more of a buy-in with those people than people with 2, 3, 4, 5 million followers, right? people are going to trust you a lot more because you're a human being. There is a very, very famous study that was done by Unilever that said if you influence one mother, you can influence up to 30 more. And so they created these huge ad campaigns and these huge marketing campaigns specifically for mums, because they knew if they could get mums into buying a specific brand, that mum would recommend it to everyone in her baby group, everyone in her friendship group, right? So sometimes working with lower following influencers pays a much higher dividend for a brand. So if you're someone with less than 5,000 followers, maybe hovering around that 5,000 mark, I know some of you are, make a list of brands that you want to work with and go and message them, speak to them. Say, hey, I have a following of this. They're all made up of this specific niche. This is why I would like to work with your brand. Are there any opportunities for brand partnerships right now? If you make a list of 20 of those brands and you reach out to all 20 of them, I'd be very surprised if you didn't get at least 1 or 2 yeses from the people on that list. So that's your second bit of homework today. So trend or trash, influencers, kind of somewhere in the middle. Elaine has said LinkedIn videos. So videos on LinkedIn, trend or trash. So I'm going to say something controversial. Videos, if you look at impressions alone, which we know I'm not a huge fan of, trash, total trash, because the views that you get on videos is so much lower than on a text post of pictures, right? Which is why when you see people sort of viral hacking the system, they'll share an infographic or a quote because they know that people are going to engage with it. They know that people are going to share it because there's no face on that. No one wants to share pictures of someone else's face on their feed, right? However, those types of posts might get lots of engagement, but they don't get you loads of love, my friends. What gets you love is doing stuff like this, right? There's a reason why many of you come back every single week, and it's because it feels like we're in the same room together, doesn't it? So when I create video content and I share it on LinkedIn, although the views are lower, by God, the engagement is so much higher. And the people that view that content and engage with that content are so much more bought in. The average engagement rate of my LinkedIn posts that are copy with a picture are about 2.5%. If you look at some of my videos, it hovers around 12%. The average on LinkedIn is 0.5 for an active creator on LinkedIn, 0.5%. And some of the videos that I'm getting are 12.5. So trend or trash? Trend, my love. Eunice, start creating video content, because if you can create video content, you're going to get such a deeper level of interaction. But secondly, no one else is doing it. No one else is doing it because everyone is too scared to stick their face in a phone, stick their face in a camera and hit record. So get yourself out there, create video content, do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. I can see Kirsty saying, I posted a video yesterday. Woo, yes, more of that, please, Kirsty. Share it in the Discord channel. We want to see what you're talking about. I can see Thomas as well said, love your jacket. Thank you. This is a full tracksuit. I'm actually headed to the airport later. Very excited. I've been invited to do a speaking gig in Croatia. Minute for Croatia. I've never been to Croatia before. I'm going to Zagreb. Very excited. My flight is later this afternoon. And it's like a whirlwind trip, in, out. No one gets hurt. But I'm very, very excited. And this is my travel outfit, guys. I'm an Adidas girl through and through. Thomas has said he's a total Adidas kid since I learned to walk about 58 years ago. Yeah, well, I'm an Adidas girl. If you look at my wardrobe, there is every single Adidas Firebrand tracksuit that you can find in like bazillion different colors. I think they are so fun. They're so chic. And they just automatically make you look cool, don't they? Hazable, I'm going to tell you again, dude. Please stop pasting your introduction into the comments, otherwise we're gonna have to remove you from this chat. It's really clogging up the conversation. I love you so much and you are such a fantastic member of the community, but you got to stop. We got your introduction the first 5 times you did it. Okay, just calm down. Okay, people know what you do. Stop introducing the introduction. Right, last trend or trash, guys. Let's have a look. Here we go. So Rosanna, posting the same content or same video content, posting the same content across all platforms, trend or trash. Again, nuanced answer, okay? Trend or trash. I post the same content across all channels, but it's very, very nuanced. I love this. People are saying trash. Prince has said trash. Sam has said actually trend. Zwadi has said trend or trash. Posting the same video content on all platforms. So we have a bit of a theory here. We're still trialing it at the minute. So I might change my mind in a few weeks. But what we're finding is professionally shot. And when I say professionally shot, I literally mean my social media manager, me, and some expensive ring lights. And when I say expensive, I mean like 100 quid from Amazon, set up in my front room, nice quality camera, shoot from 2 angles, everyone wins. We self-shoot those videos twice a month, and what we call them talking heads internally. So they're kind of set up a little bit like this, right? So we've got a nice light, nice camera, makeup's done, etc. And we pre-script those videos, right? So they will be based on brand analysis, advice, education, etc. Those videos we post pretty much everywhere. They go on YouTube, they go on TikTok, and they go on LinkedIn. The best performing ones go on Instagram. We then do a second type of video, second type of talking head video, which is hands up anyone who follows me on Instagram. I mean, can you follow yourself? That's a bit weird, isn't it? If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen that I do talking head videos in my car, right? So I'm in my car, and if you don't follow me on Instagram, go and find me on Instagram, because you'll probably learn about how you can kind of have a look at playing around with video content. So I do talking head videos from my car. And those are what I call a pre-planned ramble. So they are pre-planned. I know exactly what I'm going to be talking about. In many ways, I have a script, but I film them in a really organic, raw way with my phone in my car, natural daylight, unless it's dark, in which case I use a very cheap £25 newer light. And those only go on TikTok and Instagram. I very rarely will share the same video on all 3 channels in the same week. And the reason why is because I want you guys to follow me everywhere, just like I want everyone who might be interested in what I'm doing to follow me everywhere. And if you're posting the same content on all channels, there is no reason for you to be people to follow you on all channels. Equally, different channels have got different ways of communicating. So if you are relying exclusively on one piece of content to transcend all social media platforms, you're going to be deeply disappointed, because people are not going to engage with it in the same way. Social media is like languages. LinkedIn is French, Instagram is English, TikTok is Japanese or whatever, right? You might be going hello, bonjour, konnichiwa, but you're saying hello in the same way, but they are said in different languages. So you need to get to understand what languages work best on what platforms. And what we've worked out is my talking head car series works best on Instagram, but it really doesn't work well on LinkedIn. So we've stopped doing that. So is it trend or trash? I'll let you decide. If you have any other trends or trash that you want us to look at next week, pop it in the comments. We will save it. We will come back to it next week. I love these trend or trash things. I think they're so fun. And the more that we do this show, the more we're going to get kind of more punchy and more pacey. And maybe I'll just stop rambling so much. Or maybe you like my rambling. I'm not sure. It's a bit weird sometimes sitting here in the corner of my bedroom, talking to a camera, reading your comments, feeling like I'm with my besties, but also not even seeing you. It's kind of a weird experience. But any trends or trash that you want us to go through? Is there anything that you're not sure about? Is it ads? Is there something that you have started doing, would like to start to do? Maybe you've seen your competitor do something and you're not really sure if it's something that you should give a try. Paste into the comments and we will look at it next week. Trend or trash. Thank you, Amita. I like the rambling. I think my fiance would disagree with you. He doesn't like me rambling so much, but also he has to live with me. So, trend or trash. Right, trend or trash news. That is a great one. We'll come back to that next week. Okay, so next up we have the next part of this show, which is what you would previously have known as the Roast My Post, but is now known as Brand and Business Therapy. Because who doesn't love a bit of business therapy? Hands up who is running a business right now and who will voice note their other founder friends with the most unhinged shit that they're doing on a day-to-day basis because they just want to feel normal. They just want to feel normal. I will send my friends messages at 5 o'clock in the morning being like, babe, you will never guess what just happened. And they understand. My other friends who aren't running businesses don't get it. My other friends who are not building personal brands don't get it. So you got to have the business brand therapy, don't you guys? And that is what this segment is about. And joining me right now is Joshua Gerstler. Welcome to the Branded Show, Joshua. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you, Amelia.
Very excited to have you. So for everyone who doesn't know you, give us a little bit about you. What does Joshua do? What are you doing for work? What are your favorite things? And why are you on the Branded Show today?
So I'm a chartered financial planner and wealth manager. I help people work out if and when they can retire and to make the most of their money. And I have recently, or for the last couple of years, just been playing with branding and don't really know what I'm doing. So it's good to come to your sessions and hear the expert's point of view.
So you're dipping your toe into the branding mix, Joshua.
Yes, exactly.
And why did you submit yourself as tribute? Because as most people know here, you got to fill out a form to come onto the show. You got to give us a bit of information. So what is the thing that's like you're struggling with the most? What did you want to get out of speaking to us today?
So I have a business and it's going well, and we get inquiries. Not we could still have room for more, but sometimes they're not the right type of clients. So
Okay. So when you say right, they're not the right type of clients, who is your ideal customer? And for anyone watching this right now or listening to this, if you're also having a similar struggle, grab your notepad and pen because this will help you. So who is your ideal customer? Like question number one.
So I tried to do a bit of an avatar of who it is, and it's probably a couple in their 50s, maybe with children, um, medium to high earners who have got assets already. They built up pensions and investments and want someone to help them plan and hold their hands looking forwards to the future.
And why do you like working specifically with that segment of people?
I found that as people sort of hit that age 50 mark, they suddenly realize I'm going to have to retire at some point. Am I ready?
Yeah.
As opposed to people who may be in their 20s or 30s, which I do enjoy looking after, it's a bit more abstract and they haven't built up as much wealth yet, so there's less to help them with.
So it's a bit more of a panic going on when you
Yeah, a
hit
little bit.
the 50. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you're helping people who are thinking about retiring in the next kind of 10 to 20 years, make the most out of the assets they've got, do the best investments they possibly can so that they can make sure that they've got what they need to have by the time they retire.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And what is your current strategy for getting those leads?
It's a bit of a scattergun approach. So I post on social media on LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, but it's not really done with much focus. I use AI to help me craft some of the posts. Some are written, some are video, but there's no rhyme or reason. I'm not working out what's working, what's not working. It's just all just hit send and leave it be.
And where does most of your business come from at the minute? Like, how are you getting most of your leads?
I would say the majority is from existing clients, word of mouth. I have started to see some traction from social media over the last few months. But as I said, it's not always the right type of client that's responding to it.
Okay, so this is now going to be my next question, and this is probably the important one for everyone. What is wrong about the clients that you're currently getting that you're categorizing as not right?
Yeah. They if I drill down really, they're not profitable enough for us, some of these
Okay.
inquiries. So we need clients who have built up wealth, who have got some assets already that we can manage with and charge fees on. If someone's starting with nothing, we can't really justify the fees to them.
Okay, cool. So not they haven't got enough assets basically to
Yeah.
buy. And what does your qualification process look like? So when someone fills in your form on a website or sends you a DM, what happens next for you to decide whether or not you're going to work with them?
So it used to be I'd speak to them on the phone and then say yes to everyone because I like to help everyone. So I've stopped
Every
doing that.
business owner ever, by the way, we've all been there.
So now what it tends to be is one of my team will have an initial 5, 10 minute introductory call to find out a bit about them and if we do think we can help and add value to them.
Okay, so it's still very manually heavy though. Like it's not you, but it's someone else.
Correct.
Fine. Okay, so there's three things if for you, Joshua, but also for anyone else who's in a similar situation that I think will help. So first of all is what are you outwardly putting out on your website, on your social media? Like what is the narrative that you are spinning, if you like? People want to see a mirror of what they're looking for in the language that you're using in the way that you're communicating your business, right? And one kind of core thing that stood out to me as you were talking and saying, we have a very specific demographic of people that we like to work with, and I said, who is that demographic? And you said, well, people who are in their 50s, etc. One thing that really stood out to me was you have a tagline which, as I understand it, is award-winning financial planning for every stage of life. So already in your narrative, you are telling everyone we will work with you, which means that everyone feel like they can send you a DM, send you a message, and will get this level of service that you typically would only give to someone who has larger assets, right? So point number one is you need to mirror what it is that you want to get, right? So be very, very clear in the content that you're putting out, in the tagline that you have for your business, in the collateral that you create, in your website copy. We work with these people to do this thing, and be fucking niche. Like, be happy to repel 25-year-olds who are just starting to think about this. Be happy to do that. Be happy to give away that business to other financial planners that you can befriend and have some kind of introduction fee scheme going between you, but pass them along. Because the best, and that's what we do right now, if we ever get people that come to us that either can't afford us, or they aren't quite the kind of people that I like to work with or get the best result from, I just send them to another agency and go, guys, meet this person, and we just get an introductory fee. I'm very open and honest about it, but I say, look, these are the people we'd recommend. Just to be transparent, we get, introduction fee, but they're very grateful for the introduction because they don't know where else to go, right? So
Yeah.
that would be my first point of call, is like really audit the copy across everything, your social media, your website, how you're communicating what you do, and to your audience. Because if they're not really seeing themselves in what you're saying, then of course they're gonna send you a message, right? So that's point number one. Point number two is the qualification process. Now, I used to be just like you, Joshua. I used to spend hours and hours on the phone to people, qualifying them, seeing if they were right. And it was the biggest waste of my time, right? Hands up if anyone else still manually qualifies clients. Please be honest, because we really want to have a proper show of hands of people who are really still having conversations with people to manually qualify their clients. This discovery calls and qualification calls is the dumbest use of your time if you're a business owner. And I say that in the most respectful way possible, someone who'd spent hours and hours and hours having these conversations. Because most of the people that are going to send you an inquiry aren't ready to buy yet. They're just shopping around. And what happens is you end up having 100 calls, and maybe of those 100 calls, 3 people close, and it's not worth the time that you've spent on those 100 calls. So, but unfortunately, we get ourselves into this habit of thinking, well, it might close, so I'm going to have that conversation anyway, right? It might turn into business, so I don't want to lose it just in case. So I better have that conversation, right? What you can do is you can expedite that process by having a very clear qualification either on your website or an email series, which you can run through an automation tool, which means that people self-qualify themselves in or out of your process, which means you're only speaking to people that meet your requirements. And the way that you can do that is, if it were me, Joshua, you're Joshua, not Josh, very familiar with
That's
me right
fine.
now. If it were me, I would have a form, very simple form on your website that asks very specific questions that's going to help people get the answer. Help you get the answers that you need to make sure that they are the right people. Now, I'm going to show you a quick example of what I mean by this. So we have on my page a speaking and workshops tab. So if anyone is employed or would like me to come in and train your team on how to build their personal brand, I am available. This is my website right here. But this page here, if we have a look right at the bottom, we've got some nice testimonials, etc. And this is another good little lesson for you, Joshua, as well, as having testimonials on there from a very specific type of person, because that will allow the people that you want to work with to see themselves in your customers. But
Yeah.
right at the end here, we have want a speaker your audience won't stop talking about. And we ask the basic information. So your name, your email, your organization, where did you hear about me, and what you're looking for. In the next stage, which I can't click on because we haven't filled out information, but in the next stage where it says book me for your next event here, we ask some more specific details around budget, location, number of people, all things that we need to know in order to say yes or no to that potential lead, right? And saying no to leads is just as powerful as saying yes to leads. So I would create some kind of form, some kind of intake form on your website or as a link or landing page, however you want to do it, that every single person has to fill out to get into your funnel. And make it really simple. Like, don't add questions in there that don't need to be there. Obviously you need their contact information, but get people into like that kind of self-qualification format, because it's going to save you a huge amount of time. The other thing that you can do is once they've filled in this form, and maybe let's say they've selected that they've only got this number of, say they've only got, I don't know, £250,000 worth of assets, and you're looking for someone who's got 2 million in assets because that's what's going to give you the profitability to work on that account, right? You would create a drop down menu for what is the current value of your assets. I don't know, don't want to say, 100 to 200,000, whatever it might be. What you can do in that drop down menu is you can start it at a point which is maybe 500,000 less than you want to actually manage, because then you're going to encourage people to speak to you, even if they're not quite at that level yet. You might find actually after speaking to them they might have an additional, like, whatever, but don't make it just below where you want to work with. And by adding that amount in there, you are psychologically telling people, I only work with people at this level, which means that people who aren't at their level just won't complete the process, and then you won't have to speak to them. So that's
Yeah.
that. After the form, you can then set up an automation series, which is what we've got on our back end. And guys, very, very exciting. We've got a course, the next course is in the works, and it's how to sell, right? So part of the how to sell course, through your personal brand, is going to be centered around this, Joshua, which is the qualification process. So we have a series of emails, depending on what budget they select from the form. We have 3 different emails that go out to them. One which says, really sorry, unfortunately, we can't work with you because your budget isn't quite in line with where we work. However, this might be helpful. And we send them to the show, we send them to the course, we send them to digital downloads, whatever it might be. So at least they're doing something, but we have their email address, so we can still send them emails, right? So maybe they are ready in the future. We can nurture them. We've got their email address. The second series that we send them is someone who maybe isn't quite in our budget, but might be if we had a conversation with them. And so there's an email series that goes out to them. And then we have the hard qualification email series, which is, thank you so much for your email. Absolutely would love to talk. I can see from your email, insert here. And the best part about having emails connected to your forms is you can put in placeholders. So, you know what it's like when you send emails, you can be like, hi, name, and it will pull in their first name.
Yeah.
You can reference part of the form as well. So you can say, I can see your budget is this, because they've selected that. It's exactly who we like working with, or whatever it might be. Just so we're not wasting each other's time, here are the things that we would typically do. If you feel like that's aligned to what you're looking for, here is a link to schedule a meeting in my diary. Would love to talk. And what happens is when people receive that email, they're exactly who I want to work with, because we've taken them through almost like 3 stages of qualification. I only end up speaking to a handful of people a week, Joshua, but I convert all of them. So I'm
Yeah.
not wasting any of my time on discovery calls whatsoever. And I can see someone said, but I love discovery calls. That's great for you. I like discovery calls too. I love speaking to people. That's why I have this show. But I don't have time to speak to 100 people if I'm only going to make £100, right? It's just a total waste of my time. So it means that you're only focusing on the people who actually want to convert and who will actually convert. And the people that go through all of that process and still get to the discovery call typically will make a decision there and then. It's
Yeah.
very rare for me that they've got through all of that, I've had the call with them, and they haven't made that decision within the week. Like, so then that that's coming in, like that's proper pipeline. That's not just, oh, maybe they will, maybe they won't. Was that
Makes
helpful?
sense. Yes, thank you.
Cool. Have you got any other questions?
If someone's emailed you directly, would you still send them out to a link on your website to a funnel?
Yes, absolutely. Or we would just send them we just bucket them into the automation straight away. So if someone has emailed me and, hi Amelia, you're recommended to me by blah blah blah, I would take their email address, pop it in whichever I thought was the appropriate funnel, and then just let the funnel do the rest. Because again, I don't have time to go backwards and forwards and like arrange diaries and see whether or not, like, it's just a total waste of my time when I've already pre-written out all of those funnels. So that's how I would do it.
Lovely, thank you.
You're so welcome. And thank you so much for coming on the first of its kind branded show. We are so excited to have you. Thank you so much, Joshua. And please, everyone, thank Joshua. Please go and connect with him on LinkedIn. Leah has popped his URL into the comments. So go and show some branded love to Joshua. Give him some support on his endeavors in building his business through his personal brand, and also for coming up. It can be quite difficult coming up on a live show like this and really telling the world what may or may not be going quite right with your business. And we're surrounded by friends here, aren't we? So I'm really proud of us that we can create a space where people can come and do that. So thank you so much to Joshua, and please go and connect with him. And then this is your final reminder before we say goodbye, because it's only 45 minutes now, guys, because we have so much to pack into these shows. We're trying to keep the pace, and we also know that you guys have got limited time in the day, so we want to give as much value as we possibly can. But if you want to get your question answered, come on over to our Q&A. It's going to be starting at 1 o'clock. It lasts for half an hour, and we are going to be answering all of your questions. But in order to come to the Q&A, you have to be part of our Discord community. And in order to access the community, you need to come and be one of our course members. So come and join us. It's ameliasordell.com/course. We will be going live there in just 15 minutes. Very, very excited. And thank you all so much for joining us. I can see that there are so many new faces here. I can also see that there are some faces that I recognize from the Discord channel. So it's so nice to see you guys in the kind of flesh, the digital flesh. I hope you enjoyed today. I hope you enjoyed the new format. We're going to be bringing you loads of value over the next couple of weeks, including some guests that you may be very, very surprised to see here on the show. Some familiar faces, not saying any names, and learning from people who have built massive brands to help you unstuck the kind of tricky things that you're going through with yours. Have a gorgeous rest of your day if I don't see you on the Q&A. And if you are joining us on the Q&A, I will see you in 15 minutes sharp, guys. See you soon.